October brings many things. For example, where I live, the trees are putting on quite a show right now with their fiery color change. And of course, October is also spooky season, culminating in All Hallows Eve, which is also Samhain, or the Witch's New Year. Many among us will be observing Yom Kippur at sundown tonight, which translates roughly to the Day of Atonement. We also have secular reckonings in October. Next Monday is Indigenous Peoples Day, a day where we both honor the 500 plus years of Indigenous resistance to settler colonialism, and a day to mourn what we've all lost to settler colonialism. And there are others. Fall is a time of noticing the previous year, at least it is for me, and it's a time to settle our accounts or to reckon. Obviously with each other, those we've wronged, or to those to whom we've not been present enough. But it is also a time to reckon with ourselves. So after much processing, we are gathered here today for October Chapel. It is a joy to be here with you, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to the intentional process of filling our spiritual reserves in the service of our collective liberation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And now I'd like to invite Pastor Jacqueline to do our land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Christy. The coastal region of Central and Northern California, which includes Oakland, has a history recording back to 2000 BCE. The inhabitants at that time were the Ohlone people of Native American First Nation people. Here at Star King School for the Ministry, we acknowledge the land and labor of the Ohlone people, whose connection to this land that I am on today, and we remember and respect them. As part of the seminary's commitment to educate religious, spiritual leaders to counter oppressions, we acknowledge that the land we are meeting on today is the original homeland of the Ohlone people. I say, thank you to the ancient people of this land and their descendants for their resilience in the face of generations of colonial oppressions. Today, some of us reckon with how and what we can do to atone for the gross injustices done to First Nation people and the stealing of their lands. Some of us long for forgiveness for the shameful behaviors of our ancestors. In the glow of Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, and the dawn of Yom Kippur, a sacred time of fasting and prayer to atone and repent, we pause to listen in for what and how to repair what continues to be broken. A moment to look in, to listen in. Spiritually, we can forgive and find personal ways to repair what is broken. One way, one thing that we can do is to truly acknowledge day to day what is still true about the harm being done. For those of us who live here in the Bay Area, we can support Indigenous communities through the Shoshone land tax. Star King School for the Ministry encourages you to contribute what you can as often as you can. For those living in other parts of our shared world, please research how you can do something similar. Now, please take a moment to reverently place in our chat the names of the first people to inhabit the lands you breathe on. I invite Emmy Allen to light our sacred chalice.
Thank you, Pastor Duckling. This chalice is one public symbol of Unitarian Universalism, a faith path that some of us share. Please join me in saying the Star King chalice lighting words. The words are in the chat. With the kindling of this flame, we reaffirm our commitment to accept life's gifts with grace and gratitude, and to use them to bless the world with the spirit of love. I now invite Maggie and Erica to light the white and red candles.
Thank you, Emmy. The white and red candles are a tradition created to accompany the chalice lighting by our Emerita President, Rebecca Parker. The white candle symbolizes violence, suffering, and death, and serves as a reminder that we gather in time of war.
The red candle is a symbol of the abiding love that surrounds us. It's also a reminder of the collective work we have to do to restore wholeness to the human community and to the planet. We do this work outside ourselves, and we do this work also inside ourselves.
Amy, I invite you to lead our gathering song.
Good morning. Matthew is going to be putting the words of the beginning part of Loosen, Loosen. We're going to sing it a little bit slower and just the first part, and a little bit more mindfully, because today is a theme of reckoning. And we want to bring you into a special sacred space to just allow yourself to be in reckoning. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Erica, before you begin, might we invite Amy just to do that song 3 more times? We have time. Just so that we can wrap our soul in the goodness of that. Your voice is divine, Amy. Can you just bless us a little bit more, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Let's do it one more time. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
Thanks, Amy. I wanted to tell you today, friends, about how I have lived much of my life in middle spaces between two homes, when I've oftentimes been the girl or the woman seemingly always coming or going. As a bisexual person, an orientation truly seen as binary when I came out in the late 80s, when my boyfriend's mothers thought I was a true troublemaker, and my lesbian friends oftentimes admonished me to choose. As a stepmother, not a mother, but still a parent, when I traversed a host of expectations, my own certainly, and those of others, and when I wrestled mightily with questions of place and purpose, not always entirely gracefully. These days, when I am no longer young and yet not yet too old, I'm working to love and honor my 53-year-old body as it is, to appreciate it for all the things it does fantastically and so consistently each and every day to keep me alive, even when I sometimes lament the changes I see or feel. I am working especially to find peace with my myriad scars, many of them physical, many of them also invisible, following recurrent breast cancer treatment. My greatest reckoning, though, happens each day from a place of grief as I mourn the loss of my beloved spouse, Christopher, already 21 months ago. How is it that can be? I ask myself. For all the time I've spent in middle spaces through my life, it's grief that has catapulted me to a deeper and more visceral understanding of both and. I ache at the empty spot in the bed next to me, wondering many mornings how to live another day without my guy. And then moments later, I find myself shuffling across the cold floor to the kitchen, marveling at the sunrise and pouring kibble for my dog. I yearn for Chris to return to me in body. Just 5 minutes, I oftentimes fantasize, while also appreciating some freedom and autonomy that comes in being alone. More time to spend with my aging parents, eating cereal or cheese and crackers most nights for dinner. I can feel anger and great sorrow for the chapter Chris and I didn't get together. And still, I find myself making plans, feeling excitement even about those plans, searching always for new dreams. I can witness myself bolder and more present than I have ever been in my life. And I can understand that as a result of Chris's death. My deep, deep loss, gasoline on the fire of my own becoming. I can straddle these places, this line, the before and the after. When the ground beneath me is pure muck, when my feet are stuck, I can reach a hand out into the darkness. I can whisper, "Hello? Are you there? Can you help me?" I can speak to spirit, to Chris, to myself. I can say, I am here now. I am here now. I can have faith.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
The process of reckoning. As I look back on my reckoning moments, I certainly recognize that it is a process. And after that acknowledgement comes a healing, often accompanied by pain and relief. My most recent reckoning came with the death of my sister earlier this year. She was born with Down syndrome and consumed to dementia at the age of 56. Our relationship was complicated. She was exactly 1 year and 2 days older than me, and she never let me forget it. I've never known a world without her. She and I learned to walk and talk together. We were thrown together. As children are often easier to handle as a package rather than individually. I have always loved her, but I confess to hating when she was mainstreamed into some of my classes in elementary school. As we grew into adulthood, she was entertained and educated and employed at a group home, whereas I was entertained and educated and employed and housed by my own choices. We grew apart, but both led meaningful and satisfying lives. Then one day, about 11 years ago, well, 15 years ago, our worlds collided. Mom had a stroke, and overnight, I became Betsy's guardian, protector, and provider. It was a blessing. We worked it out. Eventually, she moved closer to me so I could keep better tabs on her. We enjoyed holidays together. She helped me raise my children. And then we fast forward 15 years, and she's gone. A simple memorial service so that others could say goodbye. And then comes the reckoning. First, the financial. Let's get this estate settled and off the books. All that paperwork. But then, how about my spirit? my emotions, my summary of her influence on my life and my influence on hers. The questions: was I a good sister? Could I have done more? Did I shortchange my own children with time spent on her? How did she change me? Betsy demonstrated a love of people that I have never, ever seen duplicated. She was very easy to please. Thank goodness. Buy her a latte and she'd follow you anywhere. You know, I miss that a lot. No one in my life is easy to please. People are complicated, and she was not. She taught me to be simple, to take pleasure in those little things, including lattes. She taught me to tell people when they please me and not just assume that they know. I think often they don't. For some reason, I talk more now, and I'm trying to become a better listener. It's only been 6 months, but so far these are my reckonings.
I'd like to invite you in. I'd like to sing to you and offer peace. We are going to think about the song Return Again is from our UU hymnal. And I'm going to sing it to you. Think of it as an afternoon lullaby. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to who you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to who you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul.
the journey. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble, and you felt the old tug at your ankles, mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. By Mary Oliver. I invite you into a time of contemplation. Please feel free to place your hopes, dreams, celebrations, or requests for pastoral care from Reverend Pastor Jacqueline. And she'll get back to you in 48 hours. And we'll just have some silence for that.
As people are putting notes in the chat for me, thank you. I also see folks drying tears from their eyes. I invite you just to hold yourself, to give yourself a hug, to remember that you are not alone, to remember that if no one else, I love you. And I hold this space of spirit, the divine weaver of that which is much larger than anything that you are going through. Remember, you are a child, a person, a they, a them, a he, a she of the divine. Invite Matthew to play a little bit of music, and then we will welcome the third reflection from Amy. A little bit of music, please, Matthew.
What a perfect song, Matthew, to bring to this gathering by Carolyn McDade, who brought us that beautiful song. What is reckoning? That is our topic this month, reckoning, and we call it reckoning, process. Tonight also begins Yom Kippur in the Jewish religion. This is the period of time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's considered the holiest time of the year, as the great book is opened, and you are supposed to look back at your life and reckon with the choices that you've made in the past year. It's an accounting of sorts. Who and what have you harmed? Who do you need to make amends to? I never really related to this holiday because it really never made a lot of sense to me to take one day to atone for my sins, as it was described to me as a child. Even as a young person, I remember thinking I should be apologizing all year long. But to reckon with one's choices, their words, actions, and even thoughts, that's something else. As you've heard from my colleagues who have had to reckon with deep losses and changes, I'm suggesting that we all have some reckoning to do. We all have some accounting to look at our own balance sheet. Perhaps you have been out of balance with relationships in your immediate circle. Perhaps you have ignored your passions, and those things you love to do just sit in a closet somewhere, stored away for when you have more time. Self-care may need some of your attention. Reckoning where you need to grow and shift your perspective. Oh, that's getting to the heart of it. This last period of my life, I've had to reckon with my privilege and how I haven't always recognized what is true. It's embarrassing to suddenly see that you weren't able to perceive previously. I've had to reckon with changes that had to be made with my grown children and then my ex-husband. And those changes were difficult. And I cried at the necessary shifts and expectations needed to be made. Now, I reckon with being at Star King. I have doubts only every other day. They surprise me. I'm reckoning with the belief in myself and my limitations. I reckon with moments where I don't understand something, and I reckon with how much time to spend on homework and if I'm actually totally behind or not so much behind. I reckon that if I'm trying to attain some perfection, I can't. I reckon if the things I say are helpful or not so much. I reckon that I'm going to reckon for years to come. So I'm looking at the high holy days in a new way, that instead of apologizing, I can spend time with reflection and introspection. I'm reckoning that would be good.
Thank you, Amy. Now, I reckon it's an opportunity for us in a large group to look at our balance sheet and just in popcorn style, just share a few words, a few sentences about what are you reckoning with? What are you reckoning with? We don't have time for dissertations or theses, but this is an opportunity to lift up each voice if you choose to speak and just tell us a few things that are on your balance sheet. And I will begin. On my balance sheet is to go visit my in-laws. My mother-in-law has been in ICU, and I need to go. And I reckon it's time to get a ticket. Who else would like to share what's on their balance sheet? Please unmute and let us hear your voice. It's all good.
Time blocking for my calendar and schedule and releasing some responsibilities that don't need to be handled by me.
So Dana and I are the only two people that have anything on our balance sheets.
I'm reckoning with a very rare cancer diagnosis of my father, which came through yesterday. I'm also reckoning with the weird sense of blessing that I perceive that to be, as I now am pretty sure he will not die of the Alzheimer's he was diagnosed with. So with the sad news that he won't be with us too much longer, and the good news that we'll go sooner rather than later.
I'm reckoning with repairing the relationship with my sister.
I'm reckoning with the fact that my dad probably has less than a month to live, and to make peace and say goodbye as well as I can.
I'm reckoning with immense family blessings in the context of immense community challenges. I'm holding a red candle in one hand and a white candle in the other all the time right now.
I'm reckoning with things that I don't want to talk about in public community, but are nonetheless on my heart and feel like knots that need to be cleared for me to go forward.
I'm reckoning with the ending of a lot of relationships that were important to me, and also like figuring out what it feels like not to carry the weight of the world in my muscles and bones.
I'm reckoning with forgiveness and some self-love and self-forgiveness and healing.
I'm reckoning with prioritizing myself and my needs and my mental health, and how that will affect relationships that usually depend on me compromising myself for their needs and mental health and etc.
Beloveds, as you reckon, if you need another supportive ear, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm easy to find. I invite Matthew to play Spirit of Life one more time before we send our flames. Thank you, Matthew. Maggie and Erica, please.
As we send the light, may we remember, each of us, that we are held in love, and may we hold all in love.
And in the ever present hope that this time of violence and war subsides.
Beloveds, we have shared from our hearts in the hopes of settling our souls into the winter months. When we reckon with our past selves, we amplify love for our future selves. So as we move into October, and as the wheel of the year turns yet again, let us rejoice in the preciousness of being together, working to keep it simple, maintaining our faith, and trusting that we will get there. Let us do so together in the service of our collective liberation. Go in peace, move with love, and make justice. Amen, and blessed be.
I hope you love this as much as I love it. Beloved.
We are going.
Uh-oh.
Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will.
Sing what you know
get
over
there.
muted mics.
We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. Boom, boom, ti-boom, ti-boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, ti-boom, ti-boom, boom, boom. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will get there. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. Boom, boom, ti-boom, ti-boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, ti-boom,